to the Masa'id briefly. I wanted to just give a little bit of advertisement for this book. I was mentioning yesterday that there are different resources that are being produced. A colleague in Qom has translated a series of 9 children's books. Each one is about a different companion martyred at Karbala. And I have a couple of sets. He wanted me just to give them out. But I just wanted to let you know that this exists if you want to take a look at it. There's an email that you can actually write to, and then he can mail it to you or whatever. The address is aqib_Jaffry@hotmail.com. AQIB_JAFFRY@hotmail.com. But I have a couple of copies if you want to look at them. And I think through the Sunday school or something, I'll try to give them out as a prize or something like that for the kids. I'm going to read a couple of stories. One is Habib ibn Mudahir. Can I unplug this? One is about Habib ibn Mudahir, and another one is about Zuhair ibn Qaym. Habib ibn Mudahir was a companion of the Prophet, of Ali ibn Abi Talib, of Imam Hassan, and Imam Hussein, all 4 of them. When Imam Ali moved his capital from Medina to Kufa, Habib resettled in Kufa and fought with Imam Ali in all of his 3 wars. He was a hafiz of the Quran, and he was known to read the entire Quran in a single night. He was one of the few chosen by Imam Ali to learn the secrets of death and affliction, such that he knew how and when he and others would die and what afflictions they would be subjected to. You see this in some of the companions of Imam Ali's son. Mithwan Tamar, for instance, I read a couple of days ago. He also had been told how he was going to die. These are people who were so strong in their faith that knowing the future didn't affect their actions. And if you're weak in faith, then if you know that you're going to die, then you might change and do something else so you don't die. You don't meet that fate. Right? But these people were so solid in their faith that they didn't fear death. So when they were told this, they simply saw it as good news, actually. Rather than being afraid of that fate. When Muslim ibn Aqil arrived in Kufa, Habib and Muslim ibn Awsaja accepted the Kufans' pledge of allegiance on his behalf. But when Ibn Ziyad seized control of Kufa, they went into hiding until they heard that Al-Hussein had been detained at Karbala. It was then that they stole out of Kufa to join him. Habib was 75 years old on the day of Ashura. When he entered the battlefield, he chanted the following lines of Raja's poetry. أنا حبيب وأبي مظهر وفارس الهيجاء ليث قصوى وفي يميني صارم مذكر وأنتم ذو عدد وأكثر ونحن منكم في الحروب أصبر أيضا وفي كل الأمور أقدر والله أعلى حجة وأظهر وفيكم نار الجحيم تسعر. Despite his age, he is reported to have killed 62 Kufan soldiers. Then Badil ibn Suraym attacked him and struck him with his sword. Another soldier from Tamim stabbed him with a lance. At this, Habib fell to the ground. As he tried to rise, Al-Husayn ibn Numayd struck him on his head with his sword, at which he fell on his face. Thereat the Tamimi soldier severed his head. Habib's death was hard on Imam al-Hussein, and his grief was apparent in his face. He called out afterwards, yelling towards Habib, saying, لِلَّهِ دَرُّكَ يَا حَبِيب لَقَدْ كُنْتَ فَاضِلًا تَخْتِمُ الْقُرْآنَ فِي لَيْلَةٍ وَاحِدَةٍ. You've done well, Habib. You were an outstanding man. You used to finish the entire Qur'an in a single night. At seeing the Imam's grief, Zuhair ibn Qayn approached him and said the following. بِأَبِي أَنْتَ وَأُمِّي يَا ابْنَ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ مَا هَذَا الْإِنْكِسَارُ الَّذِي أَرَاهُ فِي وَجْهِكَ أَلَسْتَ تَعْلَمُ أَنَّا عَلَى الْحَقِّ قَالَ بَلَى وَإِلَهِ الْحَقِّ إِنِّي لَأَعْلَمُ عِلْمًا يَقِينًا أَنِّي وَإِيَّاكُمْ عَلَى الْحَقِّ وَالْهُدَى. فقال زهير إذن لا نبالي ونحن نصير إلى الجنة ونعيمها. When Zuhair comes to the Imam, he says the following. He says, May my mother and father be your ransom, O son of God's messenger. What is this broken spirit I see in your face? Do you not think we are fighting for the truth? Imam Hussein replied, of course, by the God of creation, I most assuredly know with certainty that you and I are with truth and guidance. Zuhair said, then let us not worry, for we are heading toward paradise and its blessings. At this, Zuhair stood in front of Imam Hussein and solemnly requested permission to go and fight. It was granted. He fought fiercely until he had killed 50 horsemen. In the heat of battle, he realized that the time for prayer was approaching. He rushed back to Imam Hussein and said, Master, I was afraid I would miss Dhuhr prayer. Please lead us in prayer. It is reported that Abu Thumama as-Sa'idi came to the Imam and made the same request, to pray one last prayer together. The Imam said, you have remembered the prayer. May Allah raise you among the devotees of the prayer and with those who are always aware of Allah. Yes, it is the beginning of Dhuhr time. Imam Hussein's small force prepared itself for Salatul Khawf. He posted Zuhair ibn Qayn and Sa'id ibn Abdullah al-Hanafi in front of the congregation to guard against a frontal attack. As they began the prayer, the Kufan army sent a barrage of arrows upon them. Sa'id ibn Abdullah took these arrows in his attempt to save Imam Hussein's life. As the congregation finished its prayers, Sa'id fell to the ground with 13 arrows in his body. His dying words were, O Allah, curse these people as you cursed Ad and Thamud, and convey my salam to your Prophet, and tell him what pain I suffered. For my sole desire in that was to procure your reward by defending the progeny of the Prophet. Then he turned to Imam Hussein and asked him, did I fulfill my duty, O son of God's messenger? Imam Hussein replied, yes, you shall reach paradise before me. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. Allah, we ask you to send your mercy and blessings on the Prophet and family of the Prophet. Shower us with your mercy during this month of Muharram. Help us to remember and commemorate the martyrdom of Imam Hussein and his family and his companions in the best possible way. Help us to learn the lessons that we must learn from his martyrdom, from his effort, from his words. Help us to know our duties to you. Help us to fulfill those duties to the best of our ability. Strengthen us in faith, in patience. Give us health and strength to do your cause. Let us be amongst the army of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam that seeks revenge and takes revenge for the death of Imam Hussein. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على محمد.